All right. I would like to welcome the Prince of Sophisticated Soul, Mr. Will Downing. What's going on,
What's
man?
up? Hey,
What's going
man,
on, man?
you.
Come on, man.
Brooklyn in the house.
Brooklyn is in the house today. I thank you for taking out your time. We haven't seen each other in 100 years. It's been a long, long time.
Hey, man,
But
you aged us in one phrase.
listen, I didn't hear nothing. So tell me, man, a lot of people want to know, I'm sure they want to know, how did this all start? This sophisticated soul thing. I know how it started, but why don't you just tell everybody?
Well, it started in Brooklyn,
Yep.
which is where you and I are from,
Right.
at E Hall or Erasmus Hall.
That's right.
So yeah, that's where I studied music. Prior to that, I mean, I've
Hmm.
always sung like like most folks do.
Yeah.
But a teacher had recognized that, it's kind of said, hey, I think just a little bit better than some of the other kids. Maybe you should go study some music.
Right. Right.
And I went and I auditioned for Erasmus Hall. You had to audition to get in back
Yeah.
when I
Back
was
then.
there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I think
so.
you came out in 82. I came out in 84, and Mrs. Fleischer was our choral club teacher, room 321.
Oh, room 320. There you
Yeah,
go,
you know
man.
about 321. But it was a time, because a lot of people don't know that Erasmus was like the gift horse to the music business. You had
Oh yeah.
Clive Davis, you had
Yep.
Stephanie Mills, you
Yep.
had obviously Hubert Eves the fourth, you had you, myself, D Train, who else? Barbara
Kedar,
Streisand,
Barbara Streisand, Kedar
Harold Perry.
Massenberg.
There we
Yeah.
go. Kedar
Yeah.
Massenberg was he was the VP of Motown.
Yeah. Let me tell
Yeah,
you something. And I know this will be a lengthy interview of one of
yeah,
many, but
absolutely.
Kedar
Yeah.
saved my black ass.
Did he?
I
Get
my
out of here.
my right hand to the Most High. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
working
yeah.
in reverse.
Go
I know you
for it.
want to
Go
start
for
from the
it.
beginning, but this
Nah,
is like
man.
mid.
Listen, this is it's all about you. It's all about
Yeah,
you. You
this
good?
is mid-career. This is where that Erasmus Hall connection helped me, right? So I'm on, I think I was on Mercury Records at the time,
Okay.
and which was owned by Universal,
Yep.
and they were letting go of all of the black artists
Really?
on Mercury. Yeah, we were all getting cut. I mean, I heard it through the grapevine. I think it was me. I want to say Brian McKnight. It was a bunch of us, but we were all getting cut,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hear
Uh-huh.
that there's going to be a new president in Motown, right? Now
Get out of here.
I don't know
Yeah.
who it is, but
Right.
I get a call from my manager. He's like,
Mhm.
"Yo, man, he's interested in keeping you." I'm like, "Well, well, who is it?" He just wants to have a meeting. We're going to go up there and talk
Yeah.
to him and see if we can save you.
Right.
So I
Right.
go up there, and just
Uh-huh.
like in a movie script, we go in. He's got his table. He's got his chair turned back because he turned around. I'm like,
You got to be kidding
my
me, man.
man,
You got to
I'm
be kidding
like,
me.
I swear to you, I
Wow.
swear to you, I
Wow.
have no clue who it is. They're like, "Hey, we're
Right.
gonna go meet the president," and I'm
It's
like,
like The
I put on,
Godfather.
yeah, man. He turns around. I'm like,
Yeah.
Kedar, and then
Get
he
out of
told
here.
the manager, he's like, "Hey, man, yeah, you gotta step out for a minute."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we sat down, we hugged. He was
Right.
like, "Yeah, you were getting dropped, right?" He said, "I saved you." I was like, "My man,
Stuck it
my
in there.
man."
Stuck it in. Another E-Hall
Yeah.
savior. There we go. The rescue.
Boom. So that's
That's
my
good.
Kedar Massenberg story.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. How's he doing? You spoke to him lately?
I have not spoken to him lately, but I know
Okay.
he's doing well. I mean,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
obviously, had that position.
Yeah.
Then he kind of discovered
Mhm.
Erica Badu
Yes.
and D'Angelo.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
remember running into him on like Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, for those who are,
Right.
Atlantic
That's right.
Avenue's in
They
Brooklyn.
don't know nothing about
So
Atlantic Avenue.
they don't know nothing about no Atlantic Avenue. So I run
Right.
into Kedar on
Hmm.
Atlantic Avenue,
Hmm.
and he's talking about these people like I should know. He's like, I got this kid out of Norfolk, Virginia. He's like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
he's gonna be big. His name is D'Angelo. I was like,
Like,
man,
okay.
and I
Okay.
got this young lady out of Dallas, Texas. Her name
Yeah.
is Erica Badu. I'm like, Badu, what kind of name is that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
in 6 months' time, their names was on everybody's
It's so
lips. So I
funny
was
you say
like,
that, because right around the same time, it was Hubert Eves the fourth. It
mm,
was myself and Sean Lee from Erasmus. He played football
uh-huh.
and he made the NFL. So Sean, we were all hanging out in the city one day, and he would say, "Yeah, man, this girl named Erica Badu." I'm like, "Who's Erica Badu?" We were like, "What is that?" I thought it was
Yep.
a cologne. I didn't know what it was.
He said, "What you wearing, Erica Badu?"
That's right. So when I heard it, and I heard the song Tyrone, I was like,
Right.
ooh. And that was the rest is history, man.
And the rest is history.
And
Yeah.
yeah, wow. Such a small world. Brooklyn was everything for me, and I'm sure it was for you. You know,
Absolutely.
Erasmus was just like, we can go on. We can have a whole podcast about Erasmus and 321.
Oh yeah.
And Mr. Casal and all those people.
Oh yeah.
But what drove you to get into the music world? See, the music business, because like, you know, my mom's once told me it's the music and then there's the business. So what drove you into the business side of it? Because we all knew you had the voice back then. But how did you break in?
Well, first and foremost, thanks, and I'm glad you knew, because I didn't know nothing.
Oh, come on, man.
I swear. Hey, listen, man. I was raised in the projects in Brooklyn. I grew up in Albany projects in Brooklyn.
Yeah, right? I know Albany.
So my parents, especially my dad, he always told me that black folks can do two things. He said, "We all pretty decent in sports, and everybody could sing." They just sing and dance. So like whatever it is, you ain't special. All right.
That's right.
So
that's right.
they drilled that into my head. They were
that's
like,
right. And you got to take it to the top. Don't stop. You got I lived in 180 Troy Avenue. Yeah.
Did you? I lived in 162. I was like right next door.
Yeah, we'll talk about that offline because I know somebody lived in 162, but we'll talk about that later.
I was gonna say, what's her name?
No, no, my godmother actually lived in 162.
Okay, yeah.
The Smiths, Helen Smith, Lorraine Smith,
Okay, all right,
because Ann Tripp is from Albany.
I didn't know Ann Tripp lived in Albany Project.
Yes.
Really?
My mom used to babysit Ann Tripp. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, for those who don't know, Ann Tripp is a radio personality.
That's right.
On WBLS, which is one of the stations here in New York.
That's right. So. And she's also on. I think is she still on Steve Harvey? I think she's still on Steve Harvey.
She probably is. She's doing the morning show. Yeah. Yep.
Small world. I tell you.
Yeah. Ann Tripp is fine too. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I digress.
How you say? Focus.
Focus, man.
That's right. Focus, man. You gotta focus, man. No, but she's a great person, man, and I've known Ann a long time. Music is everything for all of us. But you always, I knew, just like I knew, and I'm sure you knew, Hubert was gonna blow up. Hubert Eves was a beast.
Yeah.
And back in 1980. Right. So he's always been on top of the world, just like you. You took the microphone to a whole nother level. And for you to have 25 albums, 25 albums in 35 years in this business is unheard of. I think you got more albums than Luther, by the way.
I probably do, but not the success that he had.
Hey, there we go.
I guess I kept swinging and getting base hits. My man would hit home runs. He dropped albums. I mean, it's one of those things. I've always loved it. I've never followed the traditional sort of thought process behind recording. Like when I started out, they would say, record an album and then wait 3 to 5 years and release another one, because it would give them time to kind of, massage your career and to build you up as an artist. Right. And I've just never been of that mindset. I've always been, if your creative juices are flowing, then, keep creating and keep releasing. So I would release a record every, year and a half, 2 years maybe, and I drop something new. And before you knew it, I mean, we were 25 albums in. I'm working on number 26 even as we speak. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, hey, as long as I got breath in my body.
Yeah, that business is a, as you and I both know, that business is a beast, man. And like I said, for you to go on for as long as you have is incredible. And thanks, absolutely, man. Now I gotta ask you this, man. The cut. You know what the cut is, right?
Hold on. The amazing. Here's what happens after every concert that I do, and this, every concert. If there's one person backstage, if I see someone as we're walking out or whatever it is, I always hear this one. You didn't sing my song.
Everybody gets that.
Every concert. I can do 90 solid minutes, song after song after song after song.
Right.
Doesn't matter. After every concert, you didn't sing my song.
You didn't sing my song.
What's your song?
Right.
It's song number 6 or for album number 8.
Right. Then they pull out a scroll.
Exactly. Yeah, I conceived my baby to this song, so I got a bunch of them like that. So I got A
well,
Million Ways. I've
the
got After Tonight. I've
yeah,
got the Pleasures of the Night album. We've
yep.
got Nothing Has Ever Felt with Rochelle
There we go.
Farrell.
That's the one I was talking
Oh,
about. I
there
mean,
we go. Okay.
all of them are. I mean, there's no one. There's so many great songs that you've done, and I'm not saying this because we went to school together. It's nothing like that. But I'm saying this as a genuine person. You have always sustained the test of time
Oh man,
musically,
thank you.
and you've
Thank
always put out great music. You didn't, back in the days they put out an album. I'm talking about back in the 70s and 80s. They put out an
you.
album, and they'd have one, maybe two hits because they only wanted to get the gold or platinum, right?
Right.
After the two hits, everything else were called fillers.
Right.
And that was it. But
Right.
all of your music from the beginning to the end of an entire CD, or for those who are, have a little milk behind their ears, records and cassette tapes. Look,
Records, cassettes.
well, let me take it back to 8-track.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
I've done many a drive
Yeah.
with my parents
Right.
from Brooklyn to the South
Right.
on 8 tracks to the point where I knew it was going to click.
That's right.
It's like,
That's
you're
right.
the first, you're the last, click, click. My everything.
Everything. That's right. That was when that was Barry Gordy. Barry White.
Right, yeah.
Love Unlimited, man. Whew, boy, that's a whole nother story. But all of your music has always stood the test of time, and I commend you for that, my brother. And I know that everything that you're going to do from now on, from here on out, is going to be nothing but greatness, because that's what you've done, man. And plus, you're in Brooklyn. Come on, man. You're from Brooklyn.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
To make a confession,
Right.
the filler stuff that you were talking about just a little short while ago,
Yep.
we're all guilty of it as artists because
absolutely.
back in the day they would say you'd have to have a minimum of 45 minutes. So it's
Right.
like you would do a song,
Right.
it's like, okay, we sit there and add up the times of the songs, like we got to do another 10 minutes.
Right.
And then we would just write anything. It's like, because I mean, literally, it would just be filler stuff.
Yeah,
and then sometimes, oddly enough, that filler thing would hit.
But you had good filler stuff. See, some folks had filler stuff, and you're like, okay, at the track, and then they put the number one hit in the beginning, and then they had the second hit like number 5. So they would almost force you to listen to, especially if it was a cassette tape. They would look, and don't let the cassette tape pop.
Hey, don't let it pop.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but it's I mean, so many great things, man. I mean, you've put out, like I said, time and time again, and it's just a great thing.
Man,
what I want you to know, what I want you to do is tell me, some of these young folks, man, what do they need to do to not so much get into the business, but to sustain themselves in the business?
Well, I mean, I think that the one thing that you can tell people, because it's a new day, first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Like when I was coming up, being with a record company was like being in a fraternity and or sorority for a woman.
Right.
It was an honor. There were very few slots. You had to be kind of vet, they vet you to get in. You know what I mean? It's not like they let everyone in. These days, anybody can be a recording artist.
Yeah.
And there's a plus and there's a minus to it. The fact that there is an internet and everybody can get on it, is a plus. The minus is that there's an internet and everybody can get on it. So there's two.
That's right. A double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. I mean, because it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's almost like everyone drives in the left-hand lane, regardless of you being a seasoned driver or being a new driver. All of a sudden, everyone's kind of like, well, I'm gonna drive in the fast lane too. It's like, but you've never done it before. Like, I don't care, but because it's there and that's what I want to do. And that's what the internet is like. So, for those who can post more than a more seasoned artist, someone who's a pest who's always on there and doing whatever, Instagram or whatever it might be, it's like they're in the way of some bigger things. But that's the joy of the internet. It's the joy and the pain of the internet. So it's oversaturated now.
But can you imagine if we would have had the internet back in the 80s? Can you imagine? You imagine?
No.
I mean, even email. No. I remember going to Atlantic Records and Buddha Records and Sutra Records, because I did a lot of stuff with Buff and the Fat Boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going up to Atlantic Records. They loved the song. and I went straight to the front door. I didn't even have to wait, because back in the days, you had to wait outside.
Oh yeah.
There was no walking into no record company. So I was able to walk. I walked right to the front door, sat down with the execs, man, and come to find out, man, they wanted my publishing and they wanted my writing. And they said, we'll sign you, and you have to use our attorney. But I had an entertainment attorney.
Right.
So I always kept my stuff separate. So it's just things like that people just don't know. People just don't know.
But at the same time, it's no different now. I mean, nothing has really changed.
Yeah.
The one thing, and just to go back to your original question, was what do you tell young up and coming artists who are trying to break into the business and how to sustain their career? Right. Is to be active first and foremost. The joy of having a computer these days is that people record at home and they're always practicing their craft and putting stuff out on the internet, whether it be YouTube or whatever it might be. The downside is that they're social misfits. Like they don't know how to interact. They don't.
I haven't heard that word.
Yeah.
in 100 years, misfits.
They're social misfits.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of young people. You know, my youngest is 26, and even with her, I have to encourage her sometimes to talk. Like if she walks into a room and there's people there, she's so busy doing this on her phone. It's like, open up your mouth, say hi, So I call them social misfits.
Social misfits. So
they don't know how to interact with other people, and especially with musicians. So it's like you have to be included in something, whether it be a band or whether you a vocal group or whatever, to learn the craft, which is first and foremost. And then when you kind of get in, don't be a copycat. Be yourself. The joy of me being an artist or people that have unique voices, like say like an Anthony Hamilton, or even if you want to go back in the day, you want to say like a Jeffrey Osborne.
Sure.
As soon as you hear their voices, you know who it is. But a lot of kids now, I feel like an old person.
I know, right? Look, we're young seniors. Don't tell nobody.
I like that. I'm a young senior.
Here we go. Look, not the AARP, the AAR.
I'm a
AAR. You gotta leave that P out for later.
Yeah, I'm a.
That's right. Freeze when you say AAR.
But I mean, for them to be individuals and to develop their sound and be known for that sound, these days when something becomes hot, everyone kind of mimics it. Like I know young ladies who live in Brooklyn and they're talking with like a British accent. It's like,
but that's how like you, Luther, as you said, Jeffrey Osborne. I'm just calling people off the top of my head. Even James D. Train Williams, that he had a sound because Hube's dad, Hubie Eves III, was a master musician.
Yeah,
in my eyes, he's one of my favorite musicians. And when you think about the craft and the time that it takes to put into creating a song. I mean, I write, I produce, you write, you produce. A song can take 5 minutes. One song can take a week. It can take a month. Sometimes it take a year. Sometimes you got to come back to it later. But a lot of these young kids, they want that instant gratification. And that's what blows my mind. Between that and I was on the highway the other day, we were driving and I was listening to Hube's song, Da Di Da. And, I'm jamming to it because last time I spoke to him, he said, man, you got to roll down the windows when you play the song. I said, all right, Hughes, I'm driving down the highway down here in Virginia. And this kid is in the back seat and he has his phone. He's completely oblivious. He's in the back seat, completely oblivious to what's going on. And the mother and father is sitting there driving like he wasn't even back there. And like you said, that's social anxiety. I don't know what they call it. But it's crazy, man. The social misfits. I like that term, man. I'm gonna have to steal that. Look, we had to get some T-shirts made up.
and hand them out. You're a social misfit.
That's right. That's right.
I'm a social misfit. This is for you.
Right. That's right. Remember that commercial? And you got potential, and you got potential.
You're a social misfit.
That's right. You're a social misfit. Oh man. Now, let me ask you this. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, and we're pressed for time tonight because you got a big thing coming up tomorrow, I know. So I'm going to squeeze a couple of questions in for you. Right?
Sure.
What I want to know is the music that you write. Did you ever think in a million years that your sound would sustain the test of time?
Oh, hell no. No,
My
never.
man.
Nope.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
what I do and what I've
Yeah.
always done
Right.
from the beginning of my solo career, because I had another career before I
Right.
was a solo artist, I put out like a bunch of 12-inch records
Yeah, I remember.
under different names, because I wasn't like particularly proud of it. It
Right.
was
Right.
just
Right.
something where somebody said, I got $1,000 for you if you sing this song.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
1,000.
That was not
He
in the
said,
'80s. It's like, ooh,
cash. He's like, cash money. Yeah, like, yeah.
cash
All
money.
right,
That's
where's
right.
the song? And so I
Yeah.
was somebody every 2 or 3 months.
There we go.
I was a lead vocalist on somebody's group, the made up name or whatever.
Right.
But
Right.
when I started my solo career in
Mm-hmm.
'88, I've always had like an adult sound. So the record companies would like, hey man, can you, there's a new sound out, new Jack Swing. I'm like, yeah, that ain't my thing, yeah, but we
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
you. And then I would always push back, and they looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we would gain a little bit more success and a little bit more and a little bit more.
Sure. Sure.
And a lot of artists that came out at that time, they might have hit a lot quicker than I did, and probably made a whole hell of a lot more money than I did
Right.
back then. But like for one reason or another, like they're not still doing what I do now.
Well,
So
I'm the man behind the curtain at the Wizard of Oz. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you
oh,
why. Now, do you want to know why? The reason why the New Jack Swing sounds, it was a sound. It
right.
was Teddy Riley.
Of
Teddy
course,
Riley
yeah.
is one of the greatest producers ever.
Uh,
And he took that sound and duplicated it over and over and over.
oh yeah.
And he got
Oh
better
yeah.
and
Oh
better
yeah.
and better.
Oh
The
yeah.
difference with your sound is somebody 12 can listen to it and somebody
Right.
80 can listen to it.
Right.
That's the
Right.
difference. Like I'm gonna give you this too. Because one of my friends, her name is Bola. She loves you. And I told her, I said, I'm talking to Will tonight. She's like, oh my God. I said, so I'm gonna let him know. And I got a cousin named Chrissy in Connecticut. They love your sound because they go to see you all the time at the Jazz Fest.
Okay.
And they love, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they love your sound. They continue to come see you. Every concert you play at, people come out. I don't think there's ever been a concert, at least that I know of, that you performed at and nobody showed up. So everybody come. Yeah, look, they come with their folding chairs, especially at the what is it, the Capitol Jazz in Maryland.
Jazz,
Yeah. I didn't get to see you the last time, but my cousin was telling me about it. And I tell you, man, you always bring the energy of that adultness. See?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everybody
You got to be who you are.
See, everybody don't have that, man. I mean, it's like maybe it's a Brooklyn thing. I don't know. It's got to be a Brooklyn thing or E Hall thing. But see, you got that young, and your mom and dad instilled that into you at a young age. So what you did is you took it and you duplicated it and you refined it. It's like wine. You just kept going and kept going. So every show, every concert, like I said, I can definitely tell you Luther didn't do 25 songs because I know Nat Adderley Jr. Personally. I know him.
Okay.
And I know he didn't do 25 songs. And he never recorded, say, 20 songs. Because Michael Jackson used to record, I think it was like 150, 200 songs per album, which is unheard of. He was on a whole nother. Yeah, he was in space, though. But your sound, your mannerism, the way you deliver the songs is what people are attracted to. And that's what I believe that's one of the things that keeps you moving.
Man, thank you. Well, I grew up on people like Luther, the Anita Bakers of the world, obviously the Stevies, the Donny Hathaways, the Earth, Wind and Fires, the Ohio players. I kind of grew up on that. So and the Teddy Pendergrass. So that all that stuff is ingrained in my spirit and everything that I do musically. So I had a good roadmap to follow. These new young up and coming artists, I don't even know if they really care.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
But you know what? You forgot one thing when you just mentioned that list. You forgot one thing. You forgot the A-track. The Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything.
You're my last. Click, click.
My everything. We had like the era growing up in Brooklyn and Erasmus that we went to. It was just love. It was respect. It was support. It was a team thing. We all worked together. Even if, let's just say you had a deal you got into the game in 88. You know, Hugh was doing it since 1980 because his dad was all over the place. His dad was one of the best producers out there. You know, those are the foundation was set back then. See, a lot of these young kids, man, they have no foundation. They're trying to, whatever they see on YouTube, they're trying to mimic.
Right.
Or it's if you have 100,000 views, that's how you get signed now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then they took the K-pop thing. The K-pop thing is another thing.
Oh,
so they got the K-pop sound is nothing but R&B from the 80s.
Right.
And they brought it back into the 2000s. That's all it is. Korean pop.
But you know, it's one of those things that's a trend. That's right. I mean, we've always had trends, but I think trends today, you know, 1 minute you're seriously in, the next minute you're seriously out. Like my daughter had come to me when they were doing like a I Love the 90s tour or something like that. And she was like, I want to go to the show. And I'm like, you can't even remember this stuff. Yeah, but it's like the hot thing, like 90s music is back in. And I was like, okay. And then, you know, a month later, I was like, yeah, there's a 90s show. Oh, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Now
it's old news. Instant gratification.
That's old news. Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Wow. I don't know, man. I'm trying to understand this young generation, and I just don't get it, man.
Hey, don't.
But I just close my eyes, and I just like, okay, that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
You'll get a headache. And you were speaking about Hubert, Hubert Senior.
Sure.
He just basically taught me because I think I was probably at Hubert's house, you know, more than Hubert Jr. You know, I would be in their basement and the dad would be schooling me and I would bring him songs. And I had this one song, we did have like a slight disagreement on one song. It was like one of the first things I ever recorded. And he ended up being right, by the way.
Okay.
I had this one song called The Real Deal.
Mm-hmm. And you thought it was it. You thought that was it.
You couldn't tell me. You couldn't tell me. I'm like, this is a smash. You just playing it wrong. I had 4 or 5 different versions of The Real Deal. I had reggae Real Deal. I had disco Real Deal. I had R&B. I did this song 50 times. And I went back years. I was listening to it. I was like, this is terrible. Wow. He was right. He told me it was terrible.
He's a beast, man. He's unbelievable producer. Unbelievable. But you know, I don't know, man. It's the times that we're in as far as having an appreciation for music, like you said, like the Al Greens, the Barry Whites.
Right.
That stuff is gone, man. Do you think? Now, I heard this, and I don't know how true it is because I really don't believe it. But they say that R&B has died and hip hop is taking over, and where are the R&B vocalists? And I always come to your defense. I said, well, have you ever listened to a brother named Will Downing? Have you ever listened to a brother named Luther Vandross? Have you ever listened to Teddy Pendergrass? Right. And the answer is, who's that? Because they don't know music. See, you studied music like I did. The ear is it, man. The ear is everything. Even if you don't play classical music, if you know music, you know music. You know the timing, you know when to come in because of the shows. That's why people keep coming back to see you because you know that music, you know. What's missing? What's missing in your eyes?
Well, to me, we kind of touched on it a little while ago. The mere fact that when you and I were coming up, you didn't have like your individual world, like musically. If you jumped in the car with your parents, or even on a Saturday morning, when you're cleaning the crib, you couldn't touch the radio and turn to another station. So you listened to whatever they were listening to. When you got in the car, you didn't touch the radio. You listened to whatever they were listening to. So, you know, or if I would go see my dad, you know, he used to frequent this little watering hole on the corner of Atlantic and Dean Street in Troy. So like, you know, you go in there, go see your dad, like they had a jukebox. So you go in there and you'd hear David Ruffin, or you hear Eddie Kendricks, or you hear the Temptations, or you hear whoever it was. And you sit there in a booth and you would listen to the music, and that stuff, you know, kind of seeps into your soul. These days, everyone's got their own phone. Everyone's got their own whatever, and they listen to whatever they want to listen to. So you can look inside a car and see 3 people. You know, obviously the driver doesn't have anything on, but the someone sitting in the front and 2 passengers in the back, and each one of them have on earpods.
Isn't that something?
And they're listening to their own music. They ain't paying attention to each other. They're not absorbing the music. They can't even share a story about what the song is.
Right.
When you and I were coming up, you bought an album.
Sure.
Like, it was like an event. Like, yo, man, I got the new Earth, Wind, and Fire
The
album.
Wiz on Fulton Street. Or the Tower Records, and then you go home and you read what did it called? The liner notes.
Read the liner notes, the credits, and you'd invite people over, like, yo, man, I got the new Stevie joint.
Yeah.
Come on over.
That's right.
And it was a thing, man. Like, you get some food, you listen to the album, like, yo, man, put that on again.
It was like the Super Bowl. When Songs of the Key to Life came out, I lost my mind, man. I mean, really.
Yep.
Totally different, man.
Hey, listen, when you just mentioned that, I'm still mad at Stevie to this day because of one album that I purchased by him. I was like, I want my money back. And he put out one album.
Which one was that?
The Secret Life of Plants.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I went to the Wiz.
Yeah, and stood online.
I got online. I went to Disco Mat or whatever it is. I got this joint. I'm like,
wait, did you say Disco Mat?
I was Disco Mat. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I listened to it again. And I was like, man, maybe I didn't get it. I put it back on. And I'm saying, I don't hear anything. I'd hear something in the background go.
Like, I think Stevie was going through a phase back then.
Boy, he owed me $2. $2.99 or whatever. You gotta give me half my money back.
Right.
$5.99.
Yeah. Him and I. Let me tell you a quick story. Him and I, we were. I was in Sam Ash on 48th Street.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at some keyboards and I'm playing the song and I feel this guy's hand on my shoulder. I'm like, who's this dude touching me, man? Like, what is this? Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
So he says he was buying at the time, if you know, the Roland had a thing called a JV 1080.
Okay.
So he bought 6 of them. So he spent about $30,000. We're talking about back then, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to understand, why does he want to listen to my music? He said, well, don't play your music in the store unless it's copywritten. He schooled me. So he talked to me for about a half hour. Yeah. And he played what I wrote and turned it into a completely different song. And the other person that did that to me was Nat Adderley Jr. He came to my home and he said, all right, man, what you got, man? So I played the song for him. He called Luther up on the spot. Luther gets on the phone. He said, let's put it on the album, because they had just finished Dance with My Father. This is right before he had a stroke. So Luther says, I'm going to put it on the next album. I'm going to talk to Clive. I said, all right. So I didn't get, I'm like, whatever. 2 weeks later, Luther has a stroke.
Oh.
You got to be kidding me. So that was my, It's a rough business.
Yeah.
And, in order to make it in this business, you have to be a poet. You have to understand what it takes to decipher a sentence and turn it into a song. And that's what you have done, my friend.
Man, thank you, brother.
Absolutely,
man. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know, listen, we got a few minutes. You got to tell me and tell everybody else what's next for Will Dallas.
Like I said, working on album number 26. I'm always touring. So, as I talked to you earlier, I got to jump off because I got an emergency call this morning to do a show tomorrow.
That's right. I get a text message from Will. He said, "Hey man, we got." I said, "Don't worry about it. I got you, man. I got you." Like I said, the worst case scenario, man. I want to bring you back.
Yeah,
I want to, and I'm very respectful of your time. Trust me when I tell you. So I want to know. I would love to have you back.
Yeah.
And we got to finish. We got to finish talking about Brooklyn, and don't let me bring up Holy House of Prayer and the Holy Tabernacle on Holy Tabernacle on Troy Avenue.
Boy, let me tell you. Hey, I went to New Hope Baptist. Right down the block from my right off like a block off of Utica. And I couldn't go to St. John's Park, which is literally right across the street from where I live. My parents wouldn't let me go to the park unless I went to Sunday school or church every Sunday.
That's right. I thought it was just me, man.
Nope. Hey, listen.
Mom had
real quick with I think I didn't learn till years later this thought process. I think that was my parents' like get down day. If you know what I mean. I think that was their day. Because my father worked at the airport, right?
Okay. Yep.
And so, when he came home like crazy late at night, and like he would just pass out. But on Sundays, he always made sure like all of y'all getting out the house on Sunday morning. Like, and I couldn't tie a tie when I was a kid, man.
Right,
So my
right,
father
right.
would get up, man. He put the tie around my neck like he was about to choke me. Tie, tie.
That's right. Everything's in a hurry. Everything's in a hurry.
Everything's in a hurry. Like,
And by the way, here's some money for the. Don't get the glazed donuts across the street next to Holy Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Oh, next to what is it? Holy Tabernacle was on Troy Avenue. And I used to go to. You remember the suits? Oh, forget about it. That's a whole other conversation. But man.
He made sure I went. He made sure all of us. I have a brother and two sisters.
Yeah,
he would like rush us out the house, and then years later, I was like, why do you always make us go to Sunday school or church? and then my sister was like, I think that might have been like their day. It's like, what do you mean? It's like,
what you call it? The get down day?
Yeah, get down day. Like, think about what I'm saying. Like. Like, y'all gotta go. Don't come back till.
That's right. That's right. Until the lights come on.
Remember
in Brooklyn, you was cool in the street until them lights came on. You had lights came on. You got 5 minutes to be upstairs,
brother. We beat.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But listen, man, it's a pleasure. Brother Will Downings, I love you, man, and I love you too, greatly appreciate you for being here, man. I'd love to have you back, and congratulations on your new project that's coming up. And hopefully you can come. You got to come back and talk about that, and we got to finish talking about Holy Tabernacle and.
New Hope, or as when I was coming up, when I was such a bad kid, they were like No Hope. No Hope Baptist.
That's right. That's
no
right.
Hope Baptist Church. You go to No Hope. You ain't got no hope of getting in, brother.
You ain't got no hope. You ain't got no hope. God is gonna save you. I'm like,
God is gonna save you. Nah, not this one.
Yeah, man. But listen, man. Tomorrow, good luck. You're gonna be where tomorrow?
I'll be at Wingate Field. I just got an emergency call. I'll be with Mary. Yes. Stokely came down ill, so I got this call a couple hours ago. Like, hey, can you in the band? I'm like, yeah, the band don't live in New York, so I'm like flights, hotels, all of the stuff to make it happen. Absolutely. We're gonna make it happen.
You're gonna do your thing, man. Listen, we'll catch up afterwards, and we will talk. And God bless you,
very much,
man.
sir.
Hold on 1 second, okay?
All right.
Okay, cool.